and welcome to the first episode of Talent Speaks. I'm Mangesh Palekar, founder director Shuttle Craze. Today we have with us Malvika Bansod, the upcoming badminton talent and winner of the recently concluded Uganda International. Malvika's achievement so far: she is the first Indian to have won the 7th Asian School Badminton Championship. She is first after Saina and our Sindhu to have won the senior All India ranking tournament at Bareilly at 16 years of age. She has won national gold at team event representing Airport Authority of India. She has been the state champion 9 times in various categories in under 13, 15, 17, 19 and seniors. She has won All India ranking tournaments 9 times in juniors and senior categories. She has won 9 international medals with 2 medals at South Asian Games. She is the first winner from Maharashtra to win the Khelo India's first edition. She has represented India twice at the Asian Badminton Championship, and she's beaten the world number 1 Chaiwon of Thailand. She's represented India in World Junior Championships twice at Canada and Indonesia. Malvika was selected in the Indian team to represent India in Yuva Cup. She is currently ranked number 2 in women's singles and BWF ranking is 150. Now, off the court, in her academics, she secured 95% in 10th board, 92.5% in 12th. She secured 95% in 10th board, 92.5% in 12th board exam with science stream. In her years from 10 to 12, she has won around 8 international medals while traveling and competing and preparing for her boards. Malvika, if I have missed out on any, please add those to your achievements. Welcome, Malvika.
So just one thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on your show today. A very good evening to you.
Yeah.
So just one thing, that my ranking has improved 20 spots. It is now 130.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Superb, superb, superb. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Malvika, now the first question to you. When you decided to pursue badminton at a competitive level, did you as a child enjoy the training regime you had to follow? Were you happy to train, wake up early in the morning, control your diet, sometimes give up outings with your friends, sometimes birthday celebrations? Go ahead, Malvika.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I loved each and every training session, and I always loved taking up new challenges. So whenever I was set a regime to follow or schedule to follow, I was very excited to go through it, go through the grind every day. And I just loved all my training sessions, waking up on time, reaching on time, playing, giving my 100% in every session, and then controlling diet and everything was other part of the game. But training, as per, I just loved all the training sessions, whether be it on court, off court, in the gym, whatever. I just loved all of it, and I tried to give my best in every session.
But the only thing is, I just want to know, how did you start pursuing the sport? Whether your parents were playing the sport, whether they had some kind of inclination towards it. How did you take up the sport?
Actually, my mother wanted me to take up some sport because she wanted me to become a little more physically stronger.
Okay.
And we all know that badminton is a really very demanding, physically demanding sport.
True, very true.
And my parents actually don't play any sport. My father is a very big fan of fitness. He does fitness regularly, but he didn't play badminton. But my grandfather used to represent his university in badminton and tennis both.
Oh,
he
wow.
was in IIT Kharagpur. So that's how while choosing a sport, we then decided on badminton. That let's put her in badminton. But there was no specific reason for that. It was just a chance.
Okay. So you tell me something. Do you feel that was the right choice you made today? What was the best part of training that you looked forward to each and every day?
Yes, definitely. I'll say that playing badminton was the right choice because badminton is a sport which doesn't require any one aspect of your physical body. It requires, from head to toe, you have to use all your muscles. I think.
True, very true. Yeah.
That you have to strengthen all parts of your body and all parts of your mind as well. So it did require a very, very rigorous schedule. And for that, whatever training was required, I always loved the ground training part physically before I started playing really well on court. Because if you can't move, then I don't think you can play well. You first have to learn how to move, and then you can maneuver the shuttle on court. So whenever I had some fitness sessions, then I used to love them. And then when I was introduced to techniques on court like shuttle run or shadows or multi shuttle or maybe standing strokes, then I had started developing interest in that as well. But first, I just like to do fitness sessions, like whether it be endurance, skipping, or whatever.
So tell me something. How long was your ground training and fitness sessions? Like for how long do you all used to do the morning training?
Initially, I think it was maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour, but
Okay.
then it slowly increased to, as the level of my game increased, then it increased to maybe 1.5 hour, maybe after that.
So 1.5 hour, was it in the intervals with the breaks, or was it a continuous process in the sense like, you have different types of training schedules. Like sometimes you have endurance, sometimes you have,
Yeah,
you'll have speed work, sometimes. So
yeah.
how was it that way?
In endurance, well, you don't have any breaks. You just start and then you finish until your
Yeah,
exercise until the time your exercise is scheduled. But
correct.
then in different training patterns, like in speed training, you have breaks. You have a burst of speed and then you stop, take rest, and then again you give a big burst of speed. So in different training sessions, I followed different schedules, that
Hmm.
maybe some interval training or maybe like endurance you have to run for continuously maybe 1 hour or how much ever you can push. So it was
Hmm.
not fixed, but there were different patterns in which I trained. It was never fixed, and I always like taking up new challenges. So whenever the patterns were getting fixed, I used to tell my coach, I want to do something new. So try to tell
Okay.
me something new.
Okay. At what age did you start with your physical and your actual competitive badminton?
Playing competitive badminton, I started at around 11,
Okay.
11 years old.
Do you still remember?
And fitness, sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, do you still remember your first match you played? Your first opponent you played?
First, I know I don't remember my first opponent, but I do remember that I had won a bronze medal in the district championship in my first ever tournament in my
Oh
life.
my God. So that means right from this time you entered the court, you knew that you were going to be a champion.
No, I can't say a champion, but I definitely was better than my contemporaries at the time.
Oh, good, good, good. See, do you feel that since you are a left-hander, you always, there's always say that they always have an advantage. Do you also feel the same when you play?
I, being a left-hander, always used to compete with right-handers.
Yeah.
So I never felt that I have a particular advantage. But I definitely now when I think from the point of view of my opponents, that
Hmm.
they always have to practice with a right-hander, and when a left-hander comes in front of them, they have to just reverse their strategy. So it must be difficult for my opponents, but I never found any particular advantage in that. That's what my understanding is.
Oh, okay. And tell me something now that since you're playing at such a high and international level, your training schedules as to what it used to be now, and it keeps varying at different levels. So when did you start actual training, your strength training, your weight training? When did you actually start? What age did you actually start?
Actually, my father had introduced me to basic fitness like running, stretching, some basic yoga since a long time before I started playing badminton. So when I was, I think, 8 or 9, I used to just go along with my father for because he used to go to run, so I used to accompany him, and then in turn he used to just teach me the basic stretches and slight jogging, and then I used to go to school. So like that, I was introduced to fitness quite a long time back. But then
Okay.
professionally, when I started playing, then I think after 12 or 13 years of age, I really did start working hard. And weight training, maybe a year or two later, I started.
Okay. So do you still which was the best match you have played in the sense like maybe at a district level initially I'm talking about, could be the state, then your nationals, internationals, since you've won so many medals, you've won so many, great performances by beating all the top players. Which is the match you think that you will never ever forget, whatever, like in terms of victory?
I think that I have in the district level tournament in 2013, I had won my first district title, and that was in under 13 girls singles.
Okay.
And I had won against a girl against whom I had never ever won in my life, and I
Oh,
had won that match quite convincingly. So
okay.
I was happy with that match. And another match which I will never forget was that my match with junior world number one, Chaiwan from Thailand. And nobody had ever imagined that I will win against her. I had to play against her in second round of Junior Asian Badminton Championship 2019. It was being held in China,
Hmm.
and it was just the second round. And even I had not imagined that I will play so well. But I really did play very well in that match, and I won against her 21-19, 21-18. So it was a big upset in the entire
Yeah.
tournament.
Now tell me something now, since you mentioned about you're playing against the world number one. Okay, so when you entered the court at that moment, was there any kind of a pressure which you had, or was it you played
No,
freely?
no, not at all, not at all.
Hmm. Well, you just played freely. Because what
Yeah, I
happens,
played freely. I played my game.
what happens is sometimes when you are playing against a tougher opponent, or maybe sometimes it's a crucial stage of a match. Sometimes your body
Yeah.
tends to freeze. Your mind doesn't work. So any kind of pressure you had initially, or was it like you just played
No,
freely?
no. I played freely. I think that somewhere in my mind I knew that even though the entire world says that it is really impossible for you to beat her, or maybe no one has believed in me that I can do that. But within myself, I think I had that confidence, like that I have prepared well, and I think that I can do this. So I didn't have
Exactly.
any pressure.
Exactly. So that means you had decided, and it's the mind which played the role at that moment.
Yeah. Initially, when actually the draws had come, the entire team was speculating that okay, that's going to be very tough for you. And even for a second, even I thought that maybe my dreams for entering deeper into the tournament have crashed. But then I realized that I have really prepared myself well, and I should believe in my hard work and my game. I should focus on my strengths rather than her strengths. And I just played freely, and I won the game.
All right. So now, since you placed many matches, you've been traveling. Do you ever anytime prefer your parents to be around, accompany you for the trainings as well as tournaments, especially matches in particular? See, what happens is at times, when you're playing, the coaches are not present. So maybe sometimes
Yeah.
if the coach is not present, so do you prefer at that time your parents sitting behind? At times it usually happens. So what do you think about it?
I think that initially when I started playing, I was not very conscious about the presence of my parents being there or not there. But then
Okay.
after I started playing professionally, then they used to accompany me and sit with me for my matches.
Okay.
And then I used to be okay with that. Initially, I was not very confident with their being around, but then as the the trend was there that whenever I used to go on court, then they used to come with me. So it was
Okay.
okay. Then there was no pressure like that. We had a different bond on court and a different bond off court. So
Okay,
they
cool.
used to understand what's
Correct.
going on in our mind, because they are the ones who are closest to us. So
Yeah,
they did
absolutely.
understand that how she's thinking when she's in pressure, how she's thinking when she's in the lead or she's lacking. Or
Yes,
so
yes.
then
No,
I
because
used to prefer them.
I have been with your father, and we have seen that he totally gets involved, because I was there at
Yeah.
present at the I think Cuttack Nationals. I think yeah,
Yes.
I think
Yes. Yes.
so Cuttack Nationals. So I have also interacted with him, and so that's why I was just very keen to know, okay, how do you take this? Most of the parents sitting behind. Sometimes it is like they whatever like knowledge they possess, or like they keep sharing it with you. So how was it with you? So that
Yeah.
was the yeah. So so you always feel that like your mother or father sitting behind has helped you in a particular way?
Yes, it has helped me, because definitely we have an emotional support from our parents whenever they're behind us. And how much ever we say that the players are mentally strong or they know the game, like they know the intricacies of the game, but still, when you have your near and dear ones with you on court, you definitely have an emotional support. So they
Yes,
have always helped.
very true. Rightly said it. I completely agree with you on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how do you feel competing at a national level has helped you overall as a personal development?
I really want to thank my mother for putting me into sport because I can't tell you in enough words how much sport has given me. Like whatever I am, 90% of my personality has been developed because of competitive sport. And I think that all parents should put their children to some form of competitive sport because it teaches you so many things. It has taught me how to be self-disciplined. It has taught me how to be dedicated, how to work hard, how to push yourself, and how to be self-confident, how to believe in your system, and so many other things. So, competing at a national level has changed my personality in a positive way, and it gives you a lot of exposure against players from so many 28 states of India. So you get to interact with different people, coaches, officials, and you have a whole new experience. Like it is as good as playing an international tournament because
Yeah.
India is such a diverse country that you get to see people from all parts of the country, and then
True.
you have lots of experience.
I completely agree with you. Now that, Malvika, there is one question which has been like, in my mind right from the beginning. We just wanted to ask you. You've been at the top at a national level, international level, winning several medals. At the same time, you have topped in your academics. Now tell me, this is something where every child and whoever is pursuing the sport in any field or any stream maybe, how do you manage and how do you balance these two?
I think that managing sport and studies together is not at all tough, provided you manage your time well. You you need to have goals, everyday goals, maybe hourly goals,
Hmm.
and you have to keep chasing them, chasing the targets every day. And I think that if you study whatever has been taught daily, and you just keep track of whatever is going on in class, I think you will never lag behind in class, and it's really an easy job. And I have to thank my mother for doing that because she has meticulously chalked out all the plans for me since class 5 up till class 12th.
Oh
And
my God, really?
yeah, she taught me how to plan your schedule in class 5, 6, 7, and then I took on later on. But then initially she taught me how to talk out your schedule, and I must say that I have not missed a single session of badminton because of academics, and at the same time I have been able to perform very well in academics in both 10th and 12th. So I think that if you manage your time well, then nothing is impossible. It is really very easy, and it helps you to increase your focus on what if you study well.
Yeah, completely agree with you. So tell me something. I know since you have done so well, at the academics, did you ever consider concentrating more on academics and continuing badminton as just a sport at any time?
No, I think that I knew that sport is my calling because the thrill that we have on board on 20 or maybe 29 on, I don't think there is any thrill like that in academics. So, so
True,
it
true.
is
Very,
it is
very
an
much. See,
altogether a different subject when you are on board, definitely.
I completely agree with you. See, Balvika, what you said right now, you said like at that moment at 19 all, 20 all, that pressure, how do you handle it? I completely agree with you because at the moment you said it, I also started recollecting how when we used to play, what kind of pressure we had at that time.
Yes,
And
definitely.
handling academics and handling this is completely a different ball game altogether. Now the only thing
Yeah,
is, what I feel is like your mind has to be too strong to get to handle
definitely, of course.
these kind of
Yes,
pressures. So tell me,
yeah.
these during this juncture, like when you are at 19 or when you are 20 or there is pressure to win. How do you handle that?
I just focus on one point which is needed, and that's the only thing that you can think about. Whatever has happened for the past 3 games, I think you should just forget that, and you need to think what is going on in your opponent's mind. At least I think that what she must be thinking at this point, what she has been playing, what are her strengths, what are her weaknesses, and what she will rely on at this point in time. Because I remember a match I had played in a district level tournament in under 13, and I had lost the first game. I had won the second game, and in third game we were 28 all. And I remember
Oh my
on 28 all, and yes, and from that 20 all to 28 all, there were many points where my opponent had a match point. and I had to save match points to just be with her till 28 or. And then after that, I took 2 points, and that was a really, really memorable match.
Okay, so
So I
that
just
means,
remember that.
yeah, so that means that is the match who you will never ever forget.
Yeah, definitely. I will never forget that match.
Okay, that's been drilled into your mind and rather more into your system.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me something. Are you content with where this sport has taken you, or what do you feel?
As an athlete, I'm always greedy to learn more, to eliminate the flaws in my game, and get better every day than what I was the previous day. And even though I have won many medals in the domestic circuit and international circuit, but still I feel that had I got a little more professional coaching in my initial days of my life, I could have gone much beyond. I feel that I could have expanded my boundaries, and I could have done much better. But now I have, thanks to my sponsors, I have got a lot of experience internationally, and I think that from now on, then I can try to cover up what I lost in the initial days of my playing career.
Okay. So tell me, like, you've been training at the supposing if you'll have camps, all India camps, you'll have uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So how would you manage during that time? Like, how do you manage your academics during that time?
During national camps, actually, you have got a fixed schedule. Like from this time, you have the morning schedule. From in the evening, you have this schedule. So in between the two sessions, whenever I had time, I used to contact my teachers, and my teachers were also very supportive in school, in junior college, in college, and all of them supported me. They went out of the way, sent notes to me, all my friends, and because of their help, I could sustain the academics, whatever was going on in class, and especially on holidays, like on Saturday or Sunday when we have no sessions, I
Yeah.
used to cover up whatever had gone through the in the week. So in that way, I used to cover up my academics.
So
So I had to
basically,
work
so,
double, but
yeah.
then I got the returns.
Yeah, of course, no doubt about it. So basically, you are saying that whenever you had that time in the camps, or
Yeah.
maybe whenever you are free, you would always utilize it only in terms of only studying or getting back to your.
Yeah, and whenever, of course, like whenever I had to take rest, I used to take that. Not that I used to cut the rest time, because the rest was also very needed, because camps were really rigorous. You had to take rest, proper rest, to be fresh for the next session. But then, apart from the rest time, like whenever you had time after dinner, maybe before going to bed, or early in the morning before the session.
Hmm.
So during those times, I used to take maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Then I used to cover up my studies there.
Okay, so now you're saying now you used to cover up your studies, you used to train, everything balanced. Then what? How would you give your time for recreation?
There was no recreation. Badminton
Okay.
was the only recreation.
Okay, badminton
Yeah,
was the only recreation. Okay,
yeah,
good. That's very nicely said. Great.
yeah. And I must say that in these 10, 12 years of playing, I have hardly attended maybe 3 or 4 birthday parties. That too, no, nothing after class 5. I
Oh
must
my
say
God.
that.
Oh, really?
Yes, definitely. I can say that. You can call up my friends and ask. They have asked me so many times that please visit us on our birthday. They have invited me, but I have never ever found out the schedule was so rigorous that I couldn't find time to go for birthday parties. There was either rest, or there was an exam, or I had to go out for a tournament, or I had to travel. So somewhere I couldn't just find time for that.
So while traveling also you carry your books?
Yeah, definitely.
No, I'm talking especially if you're traveling abroad for
Yeah, because
yeah
you have
for the,
long flights, and in airports, then you have a lot of time between flights. So
yeah.
I usually used to carry maths with me.
Okay, good. Okay. Now tell me, your both your parents as doctors. Okay. So did you ever give pursuing a medical career a thought?
No, never, never.
Straight. Okay. No, matlab never, you never decided, or was there
Never,
no pressure from parents that, you know, since we
not at
both
all.
are,
Not at
okay,
all.
okay. So how was it? Like, how they used to matlab push you to this sport? Well, what all they did for it?
They always said that whatever you do in life, we'll always support you for that. But there is just one condition, that you have to give your 100% in whatever you do. Because these are the only few years that you have got to make your career in whichever field you make it. So be sure and make sure that you give your 100% in that. We'll be there to support you however we can always, but you should give it your best. That
Correct.
was the only condition
Very,
that we
very,
had. And they
very
had
nice.
taught it to me since a very young age, that like I had even done Kathak dance for 3 years. I had passed 3 exams in that with distinction,
Oh,
and I was
lovely.
just 7 years at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And for actually the fourth exam, the age limit was 14 years, and I was just 8 at the time.
Oh,
So then we shifted to badminton, but then in that also I had done quite well, I must say.
oh, great. So right from the beginning, you've always been an achiever.
Thank you.
Nice, nice, nice. Very good, very good. So now tell me something like now since you have played at such a level, you've been playing at such a level. Uh, any kind of like you always have that kind of fear, match fear. Just at the like you are playing some tough opponent. Like how, what do you do just few hours before? Does your you have certain type of training drills, you certain type of you relax your mind. Do you do any kind of stuff like that?
I just try to, I like to be with myself before the match. And whenever I'm playing a tournament, like from the first day to the last day, I like to be with myself. I don't talk much. I like to just focus and revise whatever plans I have made, however I have to play in the tournament. And just that I don't have anything very specific. Like if I don't do this, then I'll not be able to play. I don't have anything like that. But I just like to stick to my regular routine. Whatever I do in practice, I like to just follow that. Nothing special. Like the pattern of stretching, the pattern of warm up, what I follow in practice, I just like to stick to it before matches. And I like to warm up very well before matches.
Any kind of special warm-ups you do before matches?
No, nothing special. Like basic stretches, and then I think that when you warm up well, you move well on court, and when you move well, your mind is not blocked. That's what my perception is. So I like to warm up myself very well before the matches. Just that's it.
How
And
long you give
I don't
yourself
like to
time?
interact much with others before the match.
Okay, so how long do you usually give yourself for warm-ups?
Before a match, I think I'm 1.5 to 2 hours before a match. I'm there on court, and I like to warm up for at least 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
Like starting from the base, simplest stretch up to sprinting, I like to give it a lot of time, especially in matches.
Hmm.
So yeah, I give it almost, I think, 45 minutes to an hour.
All right, all right. And how much time do you dedicate yourself after the match for stretching? Which most of the people they
Same,
usually,
I think
yeah.
35 to 40 minutes. Yes, definitely.
Okay, okay. 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, good, good, good. So tell me something. Do you still have any memories? Any like at some at now you told me about an under 13 match like district championship where you said ki it went to 28 all. So do you have any kind
Yeah.
of a match where it has given you a sleepless night where you've lost?
Yeah, there have been matches because there was a phase in my life where I was losing matches in the third game when I was in a leading position.
Hmm.
I was quite ahead of my opponent up till 19, and then I used to lose the match. So in under 17 and under 19, I think I lost a few matches like that, and I had quite a few sleepless nights after that. So
How
I
did you
tried to
overcome that?
change. um, I think that I tried to analyze what went wrong in the match, and I found out that stroke selection, or I think the mental maturity that you say that a player has in a game, that is reflected when you play. The type of strokes you choose, the type of strategy you choose at the particular point in time. I think that was missing, and I tried to improve that. And I think that somewhere it does come with age. I was quite young at the time. Some kids have that maturity a bit earlier, but I think that I had. It is my analysis that I had it a little later. But then when I had it, I was completely in control of the game.
Okay, okay. Now tell me, what uh, what would you like to share with all the young aspiring settlers today, especially on balancing the demanding education system with competitive sport?
I
You,
think that
there
I
is no
like to
harm. There
tell.
is no harm. Malvika, sorry to interrupt. There is no harm. You can give your
No, no,
example
no.
also. So you can
No,
when you
no.
say see how it's like how do you balance both?
I think that it is very important for the young generation to understand that these are the only formative few years that you have to make your career. And I think education with sport is not at all tough. You just have to focus on only these two things and not on anything else. You can distance yourself from social media. You can just chalk out timetables for yourself and follow that, and follow what your elders, what your coaches or teachers are telling you. They always tell you the best thing possible. They have seen the world more than you have, and you should just try to listen to them. When you are in this age, you just feel that why should I do this? And many times you don't have an explanation for that. But you should just try to listen to them and just work hard, hard, and hard. Because in this game, you just have to push yourself uh, to the to your maximum limit. Until and unless you do that, you can't achieve anything. And there's one more thing that I'd like to share, that
Of course,
I
please share.
think that that's my perception, that when you are physically stronger, you are mentally much more stronger. That because when you compare a child who just studies and when you compare a child who does both studies and any sport, so I think that the level of mental strength that other child has who plays sport is much more than the child who just studies. Because I know that before my 12th exam, I had chased a target of 60 chapters in less than 2 months, which included physics, chemistry, maths, and electronics.
Oh my
And it was
gosh.
a really, really tough challenge. But then I knew that I have the capacity to work for 18 hours without stopping, and then again do the same for 1.5 months. And I think that that strength, that confidence just comes from physical strength. So if you can manage to gain that much of physical strength, I think you can chase any target in the world. So you just need to get physically stronger to get mentally stronger. That's it, and just focus on your game.
Yeah, it's correct. It's like your mind and your body, it works at the same time, So
Yeah,
correct,
yeah.
correct.
Because it is really tough to give 100% on court and then try to study and focus. Because
Mm.
studying really does require focus. You can't just go in a sleepy state and attend your class with full concentration. You have to have a lot of focus to understand what is being taught. And when you're drained so much on court, like when you're training at an international level and then you're coming in the class and studying, so it's really tough. But when you can manage that, then only studying really is very easy, I feel.
Correct. Very nicely said and very nicely put up, Malvika. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, now since you mentioned about social media, how much time do you devote yourself to social media?
And very, very little. Whatever is required just for studying, I think that's it. Nothing more. Or maybe just a few messages here and there, but nothing else. I'm not on Facebook, Instagram, or anything. I
Uh,
don't use that.
good. That's you're totally focused, totally into whatever
Yeah.
you have decided to pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful, Malvika. Any kind of message do you want to give to the youngsters?
Just that work hard, don't get scared from working hard, push your limits, and don't leave studies. That's it.
Yeah, that's a word. That's rightly very,
Yeah.
very, absolutely true. Completely. I completely agree with you on
And you
this.
need to, I think that you need to respect your game, your court, your equipment a lot, because I cannot, just when I come home, I see some kids just uh, throwing away the kit bag, throwing the shoes here and there, and then going off to sleep. And I don't like to do that. I think that I like to keep everything very methodically, systematically. Like I like to respect my equipment, the court, and everything, because unless you respect that, you are not going to get anything.
Very
That's
true.
what
Very
I.
true. Discipline. Basically, it's the discipline which you need,
Yeah.
which needs to be followed. Completely. I
And
completely
it's just about how well you can follow that same routine for years and years. That's what is the key of success for likes like Federer or Djokovic or maybe Serena Williams, Mary Kom, Sachin Tendulkar. They have been doing the same thing for years and years together. That's the most difficult part. You know, people can follow a routine for maybe a day or a week, a month, a year, but these people have been doing it for decades. That's why they are legends.
Yeah, correct. Very true. Perseverance. Basically, it's the perseverance
Definitely. Yeah.
which takes you to success. Very true. Correct. Very nice. It was so. Thank you, Malavika. It was wonderful talking to you
Thank
today.
you so much. Thank
And
you so
wishing
much.
you
Same
all,
here.
wishing you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank
And
you
may
so
you
much.
shine brighter and bring more and more laurels to the nation.
Thank you so much.
And now, any other your tournaments are all coming up right now?
No, sir. At the moment, no tournaments.
No. Okay. So now only practice.
Yeah, practice.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Malavika.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me on your show.
Most welcome. Okay. Thank you, viewers. Stay
Thank you.
tuned and do listen to us on our YouTube channel. Till then, goodbye. Stay safe. Thank you, Malavika.
Thank you, sir.